This is the thing that clashes with the idea of financial freedom and causes stress and unnecessary concern across all the major important areas of life.
Imagine this. You walk into a crowded room filled with professionals, executives, and people who seem to have it all together. They're exchanging stories of financial success, how they've navigated investments, secured their future, and even turned crises into opportunities. You listen intently, but something feels off. The terms they use, things like compound interest, asset allocation, and diversification, sound foreign to you, like a language you've never learned. As you stand there, you realize that financial success isn't necessarily reserved for the wealthy or the lucky. It's for the informed, but you aren't alone in feeling lost. Millions of people go through life without ever truly understanding the language of money, and because of that, they remain stuck in cycles of financial instability, unable to break free from debt, stress, and missed opportunities. What if I told you that mastering financial literacy could be the key that unlocks not only financial freedom, but a completely different way of living, one where you are in control of your money and not the other way around? But here's the question: how can something as simple as understanding money actually change your life? This is where most people get stuck. They assume financial literacy is just about budgeting, or worse, they believe it's only for the wealthy or for those who want to become financial experts. But that's far from the truth. In reality, financial literacy is about empowerment. It's about learning how to make your money work for you. Think of it as having a map that helps you navigate through the complex landscape of life's financial decisions. Without this map, you're simply guessing, hoping that you're making the right decisions but never truly knowing if you're headed in the right direction. But once you understand financial literacy, everything changes. You see, there's a deep psychological reason why so many of us struggle with money, and it's rooted in how our brains work. Studies in behavioral economics show that humans are hardwired to make financial decisions based on emotions, not logic. Ever wonder why you feel an adrenaline rush when you buy something expensive, only to feel regret shortly after? It's called buyer's remorse, and it's a perfect example of how our brains trick us. Our desire for instant gratification often overrides rational thinking. Psychologically, we're drawn to the thrill of the moment, ignoring the long-term consequences. Financial literacy, however, teaches you how to flip that switch, how to override those emotional impulses and make decisions that benefit your future self. It's like upgrading the software in your brain. You stop living for the moment and start planning for a future that is secure and prosperous.
This is the thing that clashes with the idea of financial freedom and causes stress and unnecessary concern across all the major important areas of life. We may have goals of affluence, abundance, maybe even the creation of generational wealth, but the hidden killer of financial dreams is a scarcity mindset.
Let's take Jake as an example. Jake was in his mid-30s and living the way many of us do, paycheck to paycheck. Despite working hard, he always seemed to be running in place. He had mounting credit card debt, student loans that never seemed to go away, and no idea how to get ahead. One day, after reading a few articles on financial literacy, Jake decided to dive in. He started small. At first, it was just learning the basics: budgeting, saving, understanding how interest worked. But soon, something clicked. Jake realized it wasn't just about earning more money, it was about managing the money he had. Look, example, Jake came across the concept of compound interest. At first, it sounded like just another complicated financial term. But once he understood its power, everything changed. He started investing a small portion of his paycheck into a retirement account. Over the years, that small investment snowballed thanks to compound interest. By the time Jake was 50, his modest investments had grown into a substantial nest egg. Jake didn't make millions overnight, but by learning how to manage his money and letting compound interest do the work, he transformed his future. Financial literacy gave him the tools to take control of his life. Why we struggle? Jake's story is inspiring, but it also highlights an important point. The reason many people don't achieve financial freedom isn't that they don't earn enough money. It's because they don't understand how to manage it. And this misunderstanding isn't purely a matter of intelligence, it's behavioral. According to researchers in behavioral economics, one of the main reasons people struggle financially is loss aversion. This means that people are more afraid of losing money than they are motivated to gain it. Have you ever avoided making an investment because you were afraid of losing the money, even though it could have led to significant long-term gains? That's loss aversion in action. Financial literacy teaches you how to overcome these psychological barriers. It helps you see money not as something to be feared or hoarded, but as a tool that can be used to build a better life. The real cost of financial illiteracy. In fact, the cost of financial illiteracy is staggering. According to a study by the National Financial Educators Council, financial illiteracy cost Americans more than $338 billion in 2023 alone. This isn't just about not knowing how to save money, it's about not understanding how to navigate taxes, investments, and debt, which leads to poor decisions that can have long-lasting effects. Look, take the case of Anna. Fresh out of college, Anna had 2 job offers on the table. One offered a higher salary, but the other provided stock options and long-term growth potential. Most people would have jumped at the higher salary, but Anna, equipped with financial literacy, understood the power of equity. She took the job with stock options, and as the company grew, so did her wealth. By her early 30s, Anna's stock was worth more than double what she would have earned with the higher salary. This is the power of financial literacy. It allows you to see opportunities that others miss and to make decisions that benefit you in the long run. Psychological reasons for poor financial decisions. So why don't more people make these smart financial decisions? The answer lies in a concept called present bias. This is the tendency to prioritize immediate rewards over long-term gains. It's why people struggle to save for retirement. They'd rather enjoy that extra bit of spending now than think about their future needs. But financial literacy teaches you to combat present bias. It helps you develop the discipline to delay gratification and focus on long-term wealth-building strategies. Research from the American Psychological Association shows that people who practice delayed gratification, those who can resist the urge to make impulsive purchases, are more likely to achieve long-term financial success. By understanding the psychological forces at play, financial literacy equips you to make smarter decisions that will lead to a more secure future. Let's look at Sarah, another example of how financial literacy can change lives. Sarah had always struggled with saving. Every time she tried to set aside money, something would come up, whether it was an unexpected expense or the temptation of a big sale. It wasn't that Sarah didn't want to save, she just couldn't figure out how to make it stick. One day, Sarah decided to take a financial literacy course. That's when she learned about the concept of automatic savings. Instead of relying on willpower to save, she set up an automatic transfer that moved a portion of her paycheck into a savings account every month. She didn't have to think about it, and as a result, she didn't miss the money. Look, example. Over time, Sarah's savings grew, and by the time she needed to buy a new car, she had enough cash saved up to make a down payment. Financial literacy didn't just change her habits, it changed her mindset. She stopped seeing saving as a burden and started seeing it as a path to freedom. The broader impact of financial literacy. What's even more powerful about financial literacy is that it doesn't just change individual lives, it can change communities and even entire societies. Studies have shown that communities with higher levels of financial literacy tend to have lower levels of poverty and crime. Why? Because financial literacy leads to better decision-making, which in turn leads to greater economic stability and opportunity. Look, example countries like Sweden and Denmark have some of the highest levels of financial literacy in the world, and they also enjoy higher levels of economic security. By making financial education a priority, these countries have empowered their citizens to make smarter, more informed financial choices, leading to greater national prosperity. How you can change your life. So, what can you do to start your journey toward financial literacy? It begins with taking small steps. You don't need to become a financial expert overnight. Start by learning the basics, how to budget, how to save, and how to invest. As you build your knowledge, you'll start to see opportunities that you never noticed before. Remember, Financial literacy isn't about how much money you make, it's about what you do with it. The most successful people aren't necessarily the ones with the highest incomes. They're the ones who have learned how to make their money work for them. The journey to financial literacy is one of empowerment. It gives you the knowledge and the tools to take control of your financial future. So ask yourself, how much do you really know about money? And more importantly, how much are you willing to learn to change your life? Because once you understand how money works, you can make it work for you. Now that you've seen the power of financial literacy, it's time to take action. Don't let another day pass by without taking control of your financial future. Start today by learning the basics, whether it's reading a book on personal finance, taking an online course, or even just setting up a simple budget. Remember, financial freedom begins with education. So hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for more valuable content like this. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who could benefit from taking control of their finances. Let's build a future of financial independence together.